Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where we talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Tower of God Season 2, Episode 7. Great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, we're picking up in the aftermath of last episode. Viol and Bomb and Mazino are about to face off, and Horyang left with Prince, which even Prince is like, yo, are we really gonna abandon him? But it's like, no, like, tell everyone where Viol's location is, we'll attack him all at once. And Prince is like, oh, that's the devil summer I knew, you know, because it's like, right, he was almost about to lose respect for his idol, but it's like, nah, you're a good guy through and through. I knew it. So everyone gets told Viol's location. And I love Mazino's like, cool, let's make this a game. So the moment this thing flips, what we're going to do is, if you can grab the flower before I grab you, you get to keep it and get to walk out of here. But if I grab you first, your life is mine. So... And I love that it's because he's like, okay, because I love he's trying to understand why Bomb's calling the tower. It's like, oh, you know, you are calling him a fug baby and being like, once again, I brought it up last episode. I completely forgot about him calling them babies. Once again, Mazino being Mazino, it makes sense. You are one of the few people in the tower who looks down upon almost everyone, so you have the right to be like, yo, you guys are babies. Like in the grand scheme, you don't know how old Mazino is. Once again, what is age in a tower when you can basically live forever because of Shinsu slowing down your age and stopping how old you are? Yada, yada, yada. So, but I love for his perspective, is like, what do you want to kill Jihad? You want to take the throne? He's like, you can have the throne. He's like, the tower, it's boring. The throne, boring. I don't want that. For him, it's like, oh, like, why would you want this boring place when there's something so amazing outside? Infinite skies and stars, which Bomb doesn't say anything. Well, other than, I don't need a throne. I don't care about stars, but you hurt anyone I care about. That's when we have a problem. It's like, oh, bold words from a baby. But it's like, yeah, like, which I think speaks volumes as I've kind of like tried to dance around last episode amongst, hey, the irregulars in general are very, very select. Not select, but like a very small group, and so they're a very special case. But even then, Bomb's a special case amongst them, because if you notice what Mazino said, it's like, oh, he makes it sound like he's not from outside of the tower like Bomb is, you know, which I think is interesting and very important distinction there. So it's like, oh, so he's never been outside of the tower. Yes, he's from the outer layer of the tower, and he forced his way into the inner layer of the tower, but... like, once again, showing how special Bomb is. And obviously, once again, that's not even touching on what you find out about Bomb as the story progresses. Like, there are even more circumstances to Bomb's situation as an irregular that makes him kind of an even more of a special case. Because that's why those lines about, like, because of that, like, because he never made a deal with the administrators is kind of like the main reason why he's able to kill Jihad when so many others aren't. That's why he's supposed to be the special weapon by Fug to finally slay the king. So, either way, it comes down to it. It just, I love that situation of just like Mazino's at the top waiting, and it flips, and Bomb is powering up and falling, and at that same time, literally the entire squad converges in that moment, and everyone tries to attack him. Horyang gets tossed like it's nothing. His blast get held off like it or nothing. Prince tries to hold Mazino with his lighthouses. He's like, you need at least a higher level lighthouse to be able to do anything against me, to hold me even close to a second. So... but, yeah, dispenses of the team. It was literally Yiwa, Arcraptor, and Wagnon attacking him at once. Obviously did nothing, and then he's just charging towards Viol. But then, as I knew, like, the missing situation happens where Bomb protects her. Like, she gets caught up in the middle of their attacks. It was already too late to kind of really divert them. So... someone has to correct me in the comments down below. I do believe the fight goes on a little bit longer, but maybe I'm misremembering, because I don't remember it coming down to a single blow, but maybe it does. Once again, it's been a hot minute since I've read season 2 of the webtoon, so I could easily be misremembering. And we're also talking about earlier parts of season 2 of the webtoon as well, so I could be definitely misremembering. It might have came down to a single blow too. And that, as you saw, which speaks volumes about where Viol is, Bomb is, and Mazino is, because Viol got jacked up. Still, getting a cut on Mazino is no small feat. But also, like, there's a I mean, even later on, like when he finds out, he's like, wait, I got a cut on my face. Holy shit. So he wasn't just protecting that little girl. He was going in for the kill in that moment as well. Cool. So it was a double. It's like, not only am I protecting her, but I am still going through with this, trying to like murk you if I need to. So it's like, all right, pretty impressive. All right, keep an eye on this Fug baby slayer, like Slayer candidate, you know? So I think that speaks volumes. But also, my point is, like, it shows you what level Mazino is on, that, like, all Bomb could do was cut his face. But maybe that's also because his entire attack wasn't focused. His focus was diverted. Like, if it wasn't, might have been able to scar up his face a little bit more, but it just, once again, shows you the power scaling, at least now that Mazino is, like, in a league on his own. There's a lot of people in the tower he could give a run for their money. You know, and there are a lot of, you know, irregulars aside, just people in the tower, whether it's the 10 families or not. There are a lot of monsters in this tower besides him, but he's a special case of monster, as I've reiterated time and time again. But it's like, Viol got jacked up. And now it's like, okay, the rest of the squad is almost like, what do we do? But then, like, Mazino's like, he finds, like, one of the, I'm going to butcher the thing's name again. Zagaina's, like, babies, and he's like, oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to be taking this. You guys can take that flower, and aren't you going to go treat Bomb? Like, go right ahead. I've got what I wanted. And he bounces. And then Arc Raptor sees it back of his back, and it's like, Mazino. I love he makes his exit, and the people who kind of administered the test, or the main dude who's administering the test, like, was there waiting, trying to jump him. I guess, once again, they were hoping, knowing it's Bomb, they were hoping he'd be able to, like, I don't know, stop. Well, they were hoping they were able to keep doing what they're doing, but Mazino points out what this is all about. That is like, oh yeah, someone on the 21st floor, that's your real reason here. You're sending people after these flowers because as long as when the flowers are plucked, the Zagainas cannot be born. Like, you're killing these things. Basically, it's like you're hunting these things to extinction for rarity purposes, because the more rarer they are, the more valuable they are. But he's like, yeah, I'm going to take this baby, and I'm going to let there be more and more born. He's like, it's going to take a couple years, but when it does, the sea is going to be filled with Zagainas, and once that happens, they'll lose their value, and basically whoever is profiting off of this is going to take a massive, massive L. Also, he did it by killing the 2 of the 3 people attacking him. Because it's probably a thing of, well, I don't want to kill you. I need a messenger. I need someone to survive to be able to spread the message and tell people what I'm up to. So, yeah, and that ends up being this interesting. I did not remember the Yiwa of it all, but it's like, if you do notice, like, not only it's on the design is on her dress, but it's also in her hairband that is very similar to the flower they were tracking. I did not remember that about the Yeon family. It's like, right, they're the ones that were profiting from this. They were hunting these things to extinction, not letting people know, like, the moment these flowers are taken, you're basically killing these babies. So, like, either, like, before they're born or the moment you pluck it from them, they die. But it's like, it's the point of keeping them rare. And now it's like, that flower is kind of like the symbol of their family, too. So Yiwa's taking the news hard, because it's like, my family was a part of something so despicable. Because, like, right, there are 10 families. The 10 families are supposed to be, like, this higher up. Like, that seems like something like a common thug would do or something like that, I think, in Yiwa's mind. And it's like, not only was my family, I don't know if they were the main perpetrator. They were definitely benefiting from it a lot. But it seemed they were covering up, but it might not have been the only ones benefiting from it. But the way the narrative kind of places it seems like it's mainly them who is behind it. And now it's kind of the shock of, yeah, my family's responsible, because she's up here calling Viol, like, all this and that, thinking Fug is bad, and which, you know, once again, it's relative. They are still kind of they're basically a terrorist organization in the tower, so, you know, let's not mince words there, but it's still the thing of finding out, like, wow, my family was a part of some, like, massive shady dealings like this, wiping out a species to exist from existence just for the purposes of making it rarer so we can make more. I mean, how much of our family's fortune stems from that, you know? So that becomes a part of that conversation, and, like, how long has this been going on? And now the news has been broken because Ulrich put that out there. He did say, like, oh yeah, like, give this thing to Yuri. I can't remember if this is the item that Yuri has to give her sister so she can help her find Bomb. Because she was told, like, they find an item, and I don't remember if this correlates. But, like, It's like, well, he said Yuri. That's like the only Yuri we know in this series. Like I said, I can't remember if there was a correlation there or not. There probably is, and I'm just not remembering if there is a connection between Mazino and Yuri. That's not even me being like facetious and try to be like, ooh, I know something. It's like I actually don't remember now. So, but yeah, it becomes this situation now of because VO got hurt. Jisung is like, cool. So I'm gonna find a replacement for VO on your team, but VO is not going to back down from any battle. Which, to be fair, that's not just the current circumstances. That's well, it's the current circumstances, sure, but it isn't just about protecting everyone here. It is the thing of him being told, like, yo, if you fail any test, your friends that you care about will die. We will kill them one by one. So it's like, you know, it's kind of the circumstances created. It isn't just on his current team, but it's like they're not helping his circumstances in Jisung's perspective. It's like he needs a different team so he can continue climbing the tower. He's like, fine, I'll find you guys a replacement. You can keep going, and I won't kill all of you. But if you do try to stay by VO's side, I will kill each and every one of you because you need, like, we can't let this happen again. He's too important to fuck. And Jisung's trying to hide the fact is obviously Bomb means a lot to him too. I mean, as we saw when was it Hansung told him, like, hey, I'll kill everyone you care. And he's like, oh, come on. He's like, yeah, don't worry about that. Like, the fact of the matter is, I'll focus on your training. What do you want? Money, women, like, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. And he said, I want to become stronger. Teach me so that I never have to say goodbye. And that's Bomb's whole motivation. Motivation to get stronger so you never have to, like, so nothing could ever separate him from the people he cares about again. He's had to say goodbye too many times already in his life, especially when he's finally found the right footing, when he found a place where he felt like he belonged, he found something special, and to have that taken away, twice over really. It was first with Rachel getting brought into the tower, and then like how that whole thing shaked out, and also losing like the friends he'd made along the way. So, and it's a lot for Wagnon to think about because his reasoning isn't a thing of, oh, I'm it's not really a fear thing because he has like some fearless to him, even if he is filled with fear. It's about being brave is about being afraid but still going forward. And Wagnon is that. But for him, it was more so the perspective of we can't be with Viol because all we'll do is hold him back. That's the main motivation. But also, like, yeah, we will most likely cross paths with like other monsters like Mazino. It's like, well, we don't really have much of a choice. Viol's path is a long and arduous one. But I love that Prince is like, fine, you want to kick him out? How about you get kicked out? You're the one that's a coward. It's like, I want to climb the tower with him more than you. No, I do. And like they have this like back and forth about who wants to climb the tower more with Viol. And I love Horyang and Arc Raptor just sitting there like, yeah, who cares? Like it's like, I'll let you two bicker it out. But it's like, yeah, it comes like Wagnon wants to climb the tower of Viol, but it's also like he knows the weight of everything that like comes with Viol climbing the tower, and also like we would be a burden to him. Which I will say, there's something it's beautiful in this moment, but like without spoiling it, I actually got sad during that scene. I won't say why. You might have an idea. It's kind of a spoiler because I'm already talking around it like this, but it's like that conversation makes me sad. It makes me sad. All I'm saying is this team has some hurdles. That's all I've got to say. And it makes me sad hearing that conversation because you're like, yeah, it is what it is. But it's like, without spoiling it, like I said, and dancing around it, if you know what I'm talking about, you have an idea. But it's like, I do not believe a single person on this team has any regrets about trying to go along with Viol. I don't believe so. And that's just me. But I don't think, knowing what I know, I still don't think anyone regrets anything. They went full steam ahead. Because it's interesting because Arc Raptor and Prince have this whole conversation back and forth about the past and kind of leaving it behind or whatever, Because like Prince's whole perspective is like, no, we got to stay with Viol. Like, how are we going to buy like a replacement lighthouse, because he's not trying to use his dad's money, considering like how like he's got a different perspective on his family now, and it's just, I think that's also an angle to it. But also he kind of wants to climb the tower on his own, even though he's riding Viol's coattails, which is also interesting too, considering like what we know part of Arc Raptor's motivation too is his actual daughter. That wasn't a lie. So that conversation about the past and stuff is kind of, it's an interesting thing for both of these characters to argue. But you also have Hwoarang coming from the perspective of, this is it's not a question about Viol. This is a question about our own resolve. And obviously he has his own reasons for climbing the tower too. Everyone does. So Yua has gotten, interestingly enough, that's the thing about Hwoarang. I always butcher to say her name. Hwoarang. I just always struggle to say it because I always want to pronounce it differently, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, but like that's how I'm sounding it out. So Hwoarang. Like I said, I'm always butchering that. She's always playing that really interesting spot because it's like, right, she's a piece to the puzzle of Fug's control over Bomb, but she also plays her role as, I'm a guide. Like, it's all for the purposes of putting Bomb on the path he's meant to be on. So, might not always be the nicest path, but it's like, it's the path he needs to be on. This is the path that's calling for him, And how unfortunate it is that he is the one that this is his path. But she does sprinkle in stuff for other people, as she's the one that told Wagnon last episode the truth about Bomb. Then you also have the Yua situation. She's like, wow, are you really just going to give up? But it's like, oh, if you really want to make a change, you could always change your family. But, fine, whatever, do whatever you want to. And it did inspire Yua. She's like, I'm going to climb the tower, become a ranker, and then I'll be able to change the corruption within my family. But also, it's like, okay, I'm also going to be, because Hwoarang made fun of her not being able to cook for herself because Viol's handled a lot of the cooking so far. She's trying, which I love that Missing is sad about the Viol situation, but now she's breaking down even more because Yi was handling the food and she won't hear anything about it. She's going to continue cooking. And so when everyone gets back, they're like, wait, she's handling the food? No. Oh God, this is the worst thing possible. This is the worst outcome possible. But they were able to convince her to play nurse to Viol, so now she's no longer on food duty. It's actually Hwoarang who's on food duty. So it's like, yeah, okay, cool, we'll survive, we're good. Oh God, because if she had to cook for us, we'd die. There'd be no survival for us, So I love that. But Wagnon does go to Jisung and it's like, yo, here, like, we've made our decision. We're going to keep going with Viol. And also, instead of giving him a cigarette, gave him a lollipop. And he's like, sweet. So it's kind of like, he's like, oh God. It's just like, he tries to be the bad guy so well. And he can be if he needs to be. But we also see, like, he's a big softie, especially when it comes to Viol. He's such a softie when it comes to Viol. And then, lo and behold, the man of the hour shows up, Karaka, which Karaka was the first time. I'd never thought about it during season 1. It never crossed my mind during season 2. These are the first time these characters are having voices, and it never clicked in my head of, that's what they sound like. This is like the first time they're having like voices, and it never crossed my mind to think about it. I didn't even think about it last episode, but Karaka's the first time I actually was like, it kind of snapped out of it. I was like, whoa, that's what Karaka sounds like? Interesting. His voice is a lot softer than I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, but then I think about it in retrospect, it's like, well, I guess I don't know what, because he's never going to have like a very because what that character is, I expected his voice. I don't know I didn't know what to expect from his voice. Like I said, I didn't even think about it until I heard his voice. I'm like, I've never thought about the fact is, it's because I guess because like to me, I'm like, all the voices kind of fit the characters. Not saying his doesn't, but it's just like I was not expecting it to be soft spoken. But like, what did I really expect? It was never going to be like a booming, intimidating voice. Because I mean, it could fit Karaka, but it's not him on a daily basis. But I think it's also like, maybe it's meant to be the juxtaposition of like how scary that character can be versus like how soft-spoken he is. But it's also like Karaka is soft-spoken when I think about it. He never like goes like ballistic or whatever like that. He never like, he has a very even kilter, dialogue and just approach to how he handles stuff that it's like, yeah, kind of like Jisung in a lot of regards. Also, we got the something I was dancing around last episode. Of course, this is a fellow, well, he's a Slayer candidate. Viol is. That's a major reason why he came last episode. But we also hear it's like, oh, Jisung's his master. So that's also extra reason. That was the other thing I was dancing around last episode of, oh yeah, Karaka's other motivation is like his master's here paying attention to his other fellow pupil. But it's also like, yeah, but Viol's special too because like, well, their master has been meant to keep an eye on Bomb because Bomb is their only weapon against jihad. So, and I love that. Oh yeah, and Karaka's whole thing is he pulls an Organization 13. He opens up portals of, well, it's a lot of bad guys do it, but you see it the most with Organization 13 of like, yeah, let's open a portal of darkness and step through and use it to go to other places. But he has a conversation with his master of like, yeah, the elders and the other slayers are kind of wondering whether you've gone soft. It's like, you should have just killed the rest of the team and built a team around Bomb. But he was like, do you think I'm going soft? Do you think I care? Like, the fact of the matter is, the more people around Bomb, the more hostages we have against him. He's like, I've given up everything. I walked away from my family for Fug, and you're going to question my commitment? You know? So he's like, okay, sorry. Like, he's like, don't you trust me? He's like, yeah, of course I still trust you. He's like, cool. So why don't we have a meal together? And he was like, actually, I don't take my mask off and eat around people I don't fully trust. And it's like, oh, don't even fully trust your master because you think in this moment, you're like, I don't know if I can trust your judgment because everyone believes his emotions are getting away, which they kind of are. He won't admit it. He can't admit it to Fug that he cares about Bomb, that there's more to this. And he's like, oh, I guess I should have ate with the others then. So, and it's like, oh, Karaka, you've been busy like on other floors, but he also has like someone stay behind to keep an eye on the team. And it's like, yeah, they step out of line, kill every single one of them. So I know I brought this up earlier about the Yuri and Mazino thing. I don't believe it's real. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it. I do believe it was I don't remember what it was even now. Like what price Yuri had to give her sister to help her look for Bomb for him. Like, I don't remember now. But I don't think it was related to that flower. Like I said, I know I'm going back to it and backtracking, but I'm like, it might have, but I feel like it was something else entirely. I just don't remember what it was. Either way, tangents and all that aside, but now the question becomes like, well, they've made the decision to keep climbing the tower with Viol, but it's like, you know, Ghosting asked the question, like, what do we do though? Like, if we keep going, we will hold him back. So Wagnon ends up talking to Hwaryung, and it's like, cool. You told me about Viol's path, so I'm past, and his friends and all that being the motivation behind why he does what he does for Fug. Because of that, you told me that because as a guide, you send people down their paths, and you told me because you believe it's a path I can go down. And she's like, okay, I'll tell you. Basically, this deals with the workshop, which I think I have been getting the name backwards. I've been calling it the battle workshop when it's like, well, it's the workshop battle. So I was like, that makes more sense in retrospect. But it's like, yeah, we learned about the workshop. There's so many different ones, but there's like 7 main hub ones. And yeah, every 5 years, essentially, this is a tournament arc, if you couldn't guess. And so, yeah, there's one held every 5 years. All E-rank regulars can show up for a prize. And there's going to be one in 2 years. So you have to climb 10 floors in 2 years if you want to get there in time for the battle workshop. That will lead you to Viol's friends. And so their path is set, and we're on our journey to climb these floors in that amount of time. So, and at the moment that decision is made, Viol wakes up. So, either way, the next episode is also going to introduce an interesting element to this story that is still continuing, to my knowledge. The Emily storyline element, that's going to be interesting. Because the title of the next episode involves Emily, so I was like, oh, interesting. I always let that story element slip my mind because I'm like, oh yeah, because it just like it randomly pops up from time to time, and you're just like, I fully don't know what that storyline is because I'm like, I don't. Once again, it's been a hot minute, so maybe I'm misremembering us getting any answers to that, but I don't think we have any full answers to that. I think that's still, the Emily thing is still shrouded in shadow, but maybe I'm misremembering. So anyway, we'll get more on that in the next episode. I'm excited to see where all of this ends up taking us going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.